Hello artists, and welcome back to Art at Home with Mrs. Kellogg. Well, for this week's video, I was inspired by nature. Last weekend, I did a lot of hiking, and you know what I saw on the hiking trails? Lots of bunnies and rabbits. So I thought it would be fun to create some rabbit art this week. And that's what we're going to do. And there's one more thing I want to tell you before we head over to my workspace, and that is I have included in this video how to create other animals. So the shapes that you use to create your rabbit today, you can also use to create other animals. And I'm going to show you that in a part of this video. Now, meet me over at my workspace because I want to tell you more about the art lesson and the art supplies you will need for today's lesson.
Here's an example of the rabbit art that we're going to create for today's art project. Now let me tell you the art supplies you will need for today's project. You're going to need paper, and the size is up to you. Make sure the paper's thick enough to apply watercolor to. You're going to need a pencil with an eraser, a fine tip black Sharpie marker. If you don't have that, you could use a black colored pencil or a black crayon. I'm going to be using oil pastels today, but if you don't have those, you could use crayons or colored pencils. Since we are painting the background, you're going to want to have your watercolor set, your paintbrush, a cup that you'll fill with water, and you don't want to forget your paper towel. Before you start your art project, you want to put down an art mat or newspaper. Those are the materials you'll need for today's project. Now would be a great time for you to pause the video, set up your workspace, gather your art materials, and meet me back here, and we are going to create a rabbit hiding in the grass. Did you get your art supplies and set up your workspace? Great, then let's get started. So the first part is to draw our rabbit hiding in the grass. And we're going to start with the grass first. The thing that we want to keep in mind is we want to fit the rabbit in. So we want to keep our grass low in this middle section, right in the middle. And then on the side, we want to have the grass growing really tall. So we're going to use skinny triangles on the side. So I'm going to show you how to do that. It's almost like you're drawing kind of a squiggly line, or think of it as a bunch of triangles. Okay, now this is where it's going to get tall. Skinny triangle touch, skinny triangle, or just a squiggly line. Or you could just use lines for the grass. So the next step is we're going to draw the rabbit, and as you can tell, we're going to use a lot of half circles. Half circle here, and even the tail will be a half circle, but the line will be kind of a curvy or curly line. So I'm going to start with the head first. So on my paper, I can fit about 4 fingers inside. Now I'm going to draw the body. If you start the lines from here, the rabbit's going to be wider. If you have the rabbit's body starting here, meaning I'm going to make that rainbow line here, then I'm going to have a smaller body. Now I'm going to place the tail. So I'm going to, a lot of rainbow lines, rainbow line, rainbow line, rainbow line, rainbow line. Now my next step is for the ears. I'm going to think of curvy triangles, or you could just do triangles. Curvy line, triangle, and then I'm going to follow that line back. And notice, here's the ear, but I can see through it to the body. So that means I need to erase that line. Inside of the ear, another triangle. For this ear, I want it to flop over at the top, so that means I'm going to start with this triangular shape first, and then I'm going to draw these lines. Triangle, I'm going to curve mine. You could make it a straight line, and then I'm going to go back to the head. if I can see that line through the ear, I need to erase it. I want the ear in front. Okay, the inside of the ear would be here. I'm going to make that darker. Now I'm ready for the face. Since the rabbit's hiding in the grass, I'm just going to see the nose and the cheeks. So triangle. So I'm going to make a curved line, straight line, however you want to do that, and then kind of make your triangular shape. Now you can just draw the whiskers from here, or if you like this idea, you can use this idea of a half circle. Now you can attach these half circles for the cheeks, or you could leave it without. But if I draw through something, I have to erase the lines out. So I want the grass in front, so I erase out any lines I see through there. And I'm going to make this nose a little bit bigger. Okay, so triangle, half circle, half circle. But you don't have to put that in. So for example, you can do this instead of putting those circles in. Okay, now for the eyes, I'm going to place one there, and then half oval. Might bring this line down. Okay, so I'm going to put the line there, half oval, there, half oval, and then for the inside of the eye, I'm going to put another half oval here and another half oval here for the dark part of the eye, and I'm going to shade that in. Then my next step is to put the whiskers in. So I'm going to put some dots and then draw lines for the whisker, and I'm going to use curved lines. And I've got my rabbit, and if you'd like to put a sun or a cloud in, you can do that. Now my next step is I'm going to trace my shapes and then add color. As I said earlier in the video, I was going to show you how to create some different animals besides the rabbit using the same shapes. And that's what I'm going to do now. So if you are a person who doesn't want to create a rabbit, you want to watch this part of the video. Or if you're a person who just wants to create some more animals, create the rabbit, and when you finish creating your rabbit, you can watch this part of the video to make some more fun animals. Now let's get started. The shapes that you're going to use from the rabbit are the half circle for the head and the half circle for the body. And remember, you can also use ovals for this as well. So I'm going to start with the head. So the main thing I'm going to change are the ears and the tail. And remember, you can use different shapes, more triangular ears, rounder ears, whatever you would like. So the key is to change the tail and the ears. And you can also change the nose. Now for the next animal. So as you can see, just by changing the ears and the tail, you can make a lot of different animals. So have fun creating some more animals. Now would be a great time to pause the video, draw whichever animal you would like, and then trace all the lines and shapes of your animal. And then meet me back here because we're going to add some color to our animal in the grass. Did you finish drawing and tracing your animal? Great. Then let's have fun and add some color to our artwork. Remember, before you choose your colors, it's always a good idea to put colors next to one another to see, are those colors going to really make your shapes stand out? Okay, now let's get started. What I'm going to do is add white as my base color, and then I'm going to add another color into that. So I'm going to add a little gray into that white. and then I'm going to mix white into it. And in art, we call that blending. Then once I'm finished with my rabbit, I'm going to add some oil pastel into the grass, but I'm not going to fill it in all the way because I want to add some watercolor into that. And I'm going to use a light green and a dark green to get more dimension into my grass. Then after I'm finished adding color with my oil pastels or crayons, then I'm ready to add some watercolor. I'm going to continue adding oil pastel to my rabbit and the grass. And then after that, I'm going to start watercoloring. Now it's your turn to add color to your rabbit or animal in the grass. Well, that wraps up our art lesson on creating a rabbit hiding in the grass. I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and I hope you have fun creating some more animals that are hiding in the grass. And always remember, when you are creating art, to relax, have lots of fun, and keep creating.